there is my first job at WDBQ in Dubuque, Iowa. Had a great program director named Paul Hemmer who showed me the ropes how to get into radio. And the most important part is that's where I met my longtime, lifetime partner, my biggest supporter, my wife, Judy Penley Russell. My family here. I have my brothers, Richard, Stephen, his wife Ann, my sister Elizabeth, and her husband Jim are here. And they're a lot like powdered milk biscuits. They gave a sharp person the strength to get up and do what needs to be done. Also, my agent for the past 35 years, who guided me through the jungle of voiceovers and movie auditions, Susan Wayman, thank you very much. Susan, appreciate it. Going back to WDBQ, in 1973, we heard that WCCO AM was going to take their FM signal to 100,000 watts, and 24 hours a day they needed people. So Judy helped me forge a letter, and, well, I shouldn't say forge. I put together a demo tape, we sent it off, and lo and behold, station manager Rob Brown and Hall of Fame morning guy and program director for WCCO FM, Paul Stagg, decided to give me a shot. So I appreciated that very much. And by the way, I'm going to mention a bunch of Hall of Famers that have touched my life. I want to go back to my family for a minute and thank my parents. My father gave me whatever sense of humor I have, and my mother, she taught me all about the business that we call show, because she let me stay up when I was in grade school and watch Jack Parr. As Dr. Phil would say, what was she thinking? It worked out okay. Anyway, at WCCO FM, we had a wonderful time. Hall of Famer Steve Woodbury can attest to the fact that we just had a very creative station, wonderful people. I worked with Paul Stagg, and I worked with Carl Lensgraff in a show we called The Rude Awakening. I was there for 10 years, and they were about to change formats, but I got a chance to work with other Hall of Famers like Johnny Canton and Charlie Bush and Ray Scott, the great voice of my childhood, broadcasting the NFL on CBS. Star, dollar, touchdown. He was a minimalist for me. Tony Romo could learn a few things. Anyway. The station changed to WLTE, and I went over to WCCO AM, and they teamed me up with a fantastic pioneer in women's pioneer broadcasting legend, Ruth Kozlak, and we had a wonderful time for a number of years there. And we had all these famous celebrities, authors, politicians, and people that knew that WCCO was a place to go if they wanted to, promote something or talk about something. And that's in great part due to the producers that we had over the years, and I had a chance to work with Sue Fraze and Karen Roberts Frenzel and Sue Blanche and Jimmy Erickson, all doing the heavy lifting for people like us, and I really appreciate it a lot. So anyway, in 1987, Steve Goldstein, general manager then, gave me my own show. Ruth got her own show, and that worked out fine. Had a great time broadcasting in the middays. And then in 1993, there was a management change, and so I had a little separation from the station for a couple of years. But as they say, when one door closes, another opens, because I got a call from Prairie Home Companion and Garrison Keeler saying, would you like to join our show? And I said, yep, and I've been there, well, it's going to be 30 years now, working with Garrison. As a matter of fact, it's the 50th anniversary next year of Prairie Home Companion. And we're going to start a concert series in New York in December, and then we go to the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, and on. And I thank Garrison for providing me a big chunk of my greatest memories in the world of broadcasting. He's a fantastic writer. Well, getting back to 94, I went over to KJJO. I was pleased to see Pam Lundell, who was my co-host in the morning there at Classic Country 104. Woo! She remembers me trying to open up the station at 5:30 and clear the snakes off the front door out in Eden Prairie. Anyway, we had a wonderful time doing that. I got a chance to go down to Nashville and meet some big country superstars. That was wonderful. Then I went to KLBB. Pam, of course, a Hall of Famer, I should have mentioned that. KLBB was owned by the Cargills, Jim and Susan. At KLBB, I had a chance to work with another Hall of Famer, the great Joyce Lamont. And the Cargills owned Rev 105. 105 and KJJO. So in the basement was Rev 105. They were rocking Big Head Todd and the Monsters and Bjork, and Joyce and I were up on the first floor of the building on Frontenac, and we were rocking Bennett and Sinatra and today's best buys. So we covered the demographic waterfront there for sure. At any rate, 97 I went back to WCCO thanks to Brian Whittemore and Chuck Dickman, and I had a midday show there for a couple of years, and I got teamed up with a Minnesota Music Hall of Famer, Patty Peterson, for a year, and then the late, great Dick Carlson and Wendy Paulson, who was program director, gave me a chance to go over to join Dave Lee, the Morning News with Dave Lee, and that was a good 10-year run of fantastic memories. Dave is a wonderful writer. He did a bunch of scripts that we loved to do together, and he even included me in doing a Minnesota Hospital, the venerable program created by Boone and Erickson. And so every year at the State Fair, Dave would invite me out, even after I left the station back in 2010. And I thank all of the great good neighbors that I worked with, all the Hall of Famers that I worked with. It's been an amazing 50-year run, and as I think of it, that's a lot of presidents, starting with Richard Nixon. Well, I heard your demo tape, and I tried to erase it, but I could only get 18 minutes. Dick, if you had finished that erasure, then our long national nightmare would have really been over. I don't know, I kind of appreciated the Tim Russell show. That's where I got the inspiration to use the word malaise. Well, there you go again, Noel. Let's be frank, he was using his youth and inexperience on a daily basis. Well, on the vast landscape of media, with its 1,000 points of light, he was that one dim bulb. I tried listening, but I did not inhale. Yeah, I tried listening to you. Big mistake. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me. You can't keep fooling again. Thank you, but no thank you. I listened for a while, and I kept hoping that a change was going to come.
Well, a lot of people are telling me it was the worst show in the history of the world. Nonetheless, setting up that beautiful wall at the paddock, just so you can find a place.
Folks, number one, this is no joke. No, I'm being serious. You have no jokes. Excuse me, I've gone on too long. Wrap things up by saying the vast configuration of things, I'd say he had a wonderful eye. Indeed, I